they're there, they get federal grants for the purpose of transporting veterans to appointments. You don't have to be a DAV member.
Okay.
Let me just jump in real quick.
Please do.
I do a lot of the transportation at the VA, and what team does he belong to?
Purple.
Belongs to Purple Team? Do me a favor, the next time he comes in for an appointment, have him see his social worker. And the social worker, she'll contact the DAV coordinator, she's my coordinator. And then what we're gonna do is between the social worker and the DAV program, we're gonna assess him to see what is the best possible way to get him in. 'Cause we do transport a lot of patients right now that are going through different types of chemotherapy and radiation therapy. And sometimes the bus is not the best route
Yeah,
because they get really, really sick.
Because
So-
this can't, not all of it, but a lot of it is in his spine. So it, if you ever been on public transportation, it's not
It's,
smooth to
yeah, it's
drive.
pretty tough. It's tough.
And I know they have transported him out to Wacoe for certain tests. In fact, they pick him up here, put him in a cab and bring him out there, and then bring him back here. So, I can't always get off work. I work 2 jobs, I
Right.
can't always
Right.
get, I just cannot be there all the time. I try to be there when he gets his test results. I can't always be there for his test.
Yeah. What she does is she's going to immediately contact our office, and then we'll get something set up, so then that way we can get him in and get him out. But a lot of times, if any of you have any transportation issues or any transportation needs, the best way to get those resolved is to go immediately to the social worker, and we're processing, that's our immediate fix-it for now. Because they know all the different types of transportations that we have. All of our DAV volunteers, they're all volunteer drivers. So, and we've got VA drivers, and we got different types of transportation programs. And right now, at the immediate time, our social workers are the best person to get to for those needs.
Oh, well, I'm a National Executive Committeeman for the state of Florida. You mentioned that the DAV gets a federal grant.
Yes, sir.
All right, my DAV, we have bought 4 vehicles. And I'm from the Fort Myers area. And of course, if you buy the vehicle, then you turn it over to the government. Volunteer drivers, like Sandy said, we have volunteer drivers. Now, it's hard to get volunteer drivers in a rural area that are gonna try. You go from Fort Myers or LaBelle, Florida, all the way to Tampa. You go to Miami or West Palm. So we pay our drivers $8 an hour. Well, we went before the city commissioners in Henry County, and they were all for it. Now the government cuts, and the city commissioners don't want to give us any money. So basically, we're going to lose a lot of drivers, and we're going to go down to 3 days a week to transport veterans, Bay Pines, Tampa, Okeechobee, Miami, and West Palm Beach. My chapter is not aware of this federal grant. So I guess I want to know about the federal grant, because we transport probably 100 to 125 veterans from Henry County and Glades County every month. And we were doing it 5 days a week. And now we're going to be cut down to 3 days a week. And we got to tell them that you got to do it in the morning so we can get up there and get back. Their appointment they have to get.
That is my understanding, and Mr. Rare, if you want to answer about how the DAV system works with VA, go right ahead, and I'll put in my 2 cents worth. Go ahead.
So, I'm trying to follow you. So the drivers that you're paying for, this is DAV?
Yeah.
DAV drivers?
Well, half of them don't belong to DAV.
You don't have
But,
to.
I know that. But the problem that I have with the DAV at our department level is they tell our commissioners that they have to be a volunteer.
Individual chapters will raise money and sponsor a band. And if you go up there, they got the numbers on the side. I'm in chapter 150 DAV up in Lady Lake, okay? All right. They go through a guy named Al Linden up there.
Al Linden.
And Al Linden's the one that takes care of this area, this department for DAV. All right. Now, the goal is that a chapter pays for the full amount, but most times they don't. There's a foundation, and that's out in Colorado. And they go out there and they do this. You have to have your application in as a chapter to your department, in October, November timeframe. The foundation makes a decision, and that may be where the word grant comes from. That's an internal DAV. It's a DAV grant to a chapter who's sponsoring one who can't quite make the 27,000.
It's a federal program, the DAV has run for years with
Yes.
federal dollars. Through their-
No federal dollar. No,
The
no,
vans are all funded by DAV.
no.
Okay.
So I'm trying to say, DAV has an internal grant system to DAV, to the chapter that didn't make the $27,000 last year for the cost of one van. They'll do it up to one half, all right?
All right,
Now,
very good.
when they're bought and delivered, then they're turned over to the hospital. It becomes government property at that point. And so it's self-insured by the government, maintained by the government.
And fuel.
And then there are volunteer drivers, and DAV cannot handle that, so there's a lot of volunteer drivers nowadays.
And that's why we get in rural areas, like Dennis was saying, sometimes they come up with other solutions to attract
No, they had a good
drivers.
solution, because drivers are a serious problem.
Yes,
It's
and
hard to get
that's why
volunteers.
they come up with another funding source to pay it.
Right.
And that's why they do that. But the DAV has these vans all over the country.
Yes.
Any VA hospital I've ever been to, if you see DAV vans, you hear announcements over the loudspeakers, the DAV van is ready for veterans at 3 o'clock or whatever. But yeah, that's all part of that program. The only place I was mixed up in my own head, it's not federal dollars.
No, it's not.
People wonder that now with the Affordable Health Care Act and everything that's coming to that. And the VA central office has told us they're expecting between 66 to 68,000 new enrollees this year to satisfy the health care requirement. But you have to be eligible, okay? And you want to
Yeah, because that
take
is my, in a kind of a unique position with the Orlando VA. I'm the outreach coordinator. What that means is that it's my job to go out and bring in new veterans such as you, yourself and your husband, especially Vietnam veterans who have not maybe used the VA because they had outside jobs and they had their own health insurance. So I go out as a team, I bring enrollment applications with me every time I come out. I have them today. I will enroll anybody in here that needs to enroll in the VA, because you're absolutely right, you do have choices now. With the Affordable Health Care Act, there's a lot of things that, there's a lot of individual differences that will be advantageous for you to use the VA versus using another type of health insurance. And we meet all of the requirements that it takes in order to get into the VA.
So I could join the VA today, tonight,
Absolutely.
but still have my insurance, not use things, but be a number.
Come to the VA once a year. All we need you to do is come for that yearly physical.
But
because
what if
that
she's a
keeps you in the
category
system.
8?
But she wouldn't be, because she's a Vietnam veteran.
Okay, very good.
So it
Okay,
automatically
now,
makes
right,
you out.
here's an expertise, and I do know this, one of the things that we want
I
to
stopped
talk
my
to the team
insurance.
about is the enrollment of women veterans. That's a very important thing.
There's a difference though between the Vietnam era and served in country in Vietnam.
I did not serve in country.
Okay, so that may be,
Oh,
Yeah,
that may be an
yeah,
issue.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
But we'll still try, and we still want you to try to do it, no matter what.
and let me just say also, the American Legion at National Convention approved a resolution that the resolution calls for reinstatement of all PG-8 veterans. So we are working that in to try to reinstate the enrollment that was closed in 2003 for Priority Group 8G veterans.
The VA took almost 50 years telling me to go to hell when I came back from Vietnam before I got registered under Agent Orange. 12 to 15 years ago, it was still a lot different than it is today. There's some more openings, but they're never what you guys think they are. So My Healthy Vet, I have found, was a way to talk to my primary care physician. I never talked to him in the room. I put it in writing in My Healthy Vet in a secure message, and I get a response. My God, because I complained for 3 years about one of my personal problems, and I got nothing. I put in a letter within a week, it was taken care of. I put it in writing. So I'm saying there's a new opportunity with the My Healthy Vet to encourage the people you're working with to use that.